Welcome to an overview of corrective reading. My name is Maria Baz and I'm an education consultant for McGraw Hill Education. Corrective reading is a direct instruction reading intervention program. It has two strands, corrective reading decoding and corrective reading comprehension. These are designed to change the behavior of the problem reader. Corrective reading gives struggling students age-appropriate materials and the necessary structure and practice required to become skilled, fluent and empowered learners. Corrective reading is authored by Zig Engelman and Associates and published by McGraw Hill Education. Like all direct instruction programs, corrective reading follows the key elements of design, delivery and documentation that underpin each program. The program is engineered so that the teacher can teach successfully and the student can learn in the shortest amount of time. Corrective reading is meant for the older student, typically those in grades 3 and up who are 2 or more years behind their expected grade level. It can be taught individually, to small homogeneous groups, or to an entire class depending on the intervention needs of the school and the confidence of the teacher delivering the program. Please note that corrective reading is not meant to be used with students who do not speak English or whose grasp of English is weak. All direct instruction programs require students to do a placement test. The corrective reading tests ensure that students are placed at the right ability level, not necessarily a grade or chronological age level. Unlike a one-size-fits-all approach, placement within the 10 levels of corrective reading are meticulously structured to meet the student exactly where they're at and move them forward at the quickest rate possible. The decoding test measures decoding accuracy and rate of oral reading, whilst the comprehension test measures a student's basic knowledge and skills assumed in complex comprehension activities like deductions, vocabulary, analogies, similarities, and so forth. If a student places in both strands of the program, including the fast cycles of corrective reading comprehension, 2 separate lessons will be required each day for a double strand sequence. If time and resources are limited, always start with the decoding strand first. The placement test can be found on our website or requested through a consultant. It is linked at the end of this presentation. The decoding strand consists of 4 levels: A, B1, B2 and C. The comprehension strand also consists of 4 main levels of A, B1, B2 and C, plus of fast cycles for levels A and B1. The fast cycles cover the same content of the main levels of A and B1, but it does so in fewer lessons. In an Australian context, corrective reading has been mapped to the Australian version 9 reading syllabus. Please contact your consultant or visit our website if you wish to receive a PDF version of this document or find the links listed at the end of this overview. From the placement test results, the appropriate groups are formed, materials are purchased accordingly, and each group is assigned a teacher. Here are some suggested group sizes for corrective reading decoding, but for corrective reading comprehension, similar group sizes are recommended. Corrective reading is taught daily, 5 times a week, with each lesson taking approximately 35 to 55 minutes to complete. Any schedule less than this may have weaker results. Here is an example of a time schedule for all levels of corrective reading and how the levels are taught in a school year. Each level of corrective reading has 1 or 2 presentation books for the teacher, a teacher's guide, and a print workbook for the student. Some levels of corrective reading require a student textbook. A series guide per school is highly recommended. This is a great resource and provides a comprehensive overview of the program. Corrective reading is available as a digital online component for both teacher and the student. The 1-year subscription is purchased separate to the print materials. The teacher subscription is for the decoding strand only and includes all levels of the teacher presentation books in digital format, teacher training modules, online student progress monitoring, and other useful resources like word lists. These are not printable or downloadable. The student license for corrective reading consists of supplemental activities that link whatever's taught in class. Please note that the student license does not replace the workbook or the student textbook. McGraw Hill offers tech support in redeeming and allocation of the licenses for both the teacher and the student. The Ravenscourt readers are an excellent resource for homework and help students improve their fluency rates. These are available in sets with a teacher guide for each level. SRA 2 Inform online progress monitoring instantly tracks and monitors students' progress for individual students or whole groups. This is included in the one-year online teacher materials. Teachers enter the scores for each student manually and receive instant reports including remedy lesson suggestions. The content connections provide exposure to authentic, expository, and narrative pieces for students in either the decoding or the comprehension strands. Each of the 4 books contain 12 read-aloud selections that promote listening skills and connects to the content areas in the program. The Teacher Resource Book provides additional assistance to the teacher to build and reinforce skills. There are 8 books in all, 1 for each level of the decoding and comprehension strands. Organised seating and good classroom management are vital in delivering a smooth DI lesson. The seating chart displayed enables the teacher to keep a close eye on the student's work and keep disruptions down to a minimum. It is also recommended that teachers actively move around the class whilst teaching and instructing. This allows the teacher to listen to each group response, making sure that all students are engaged and working. All DI lessons use a script. This can be described as using a blueprint or sheet music, and at its most basic function, helps keep teachers on track and maximize time on task. More examples of how to follow the script conventions are located on pages 73 and 74 of the Corrective Reading Series Guide. Through the effective use of signals, the teacher is able to elicit a unison response and can control the think time that each response may need. In corrective reading, the main types of signals used are the hand drop, the point touch, the audible signal, the sound out signal, and the sequential signals. Detailed information on these are found on pages 81 to 86 of the Corrective Reading Series Guide and can be practiced during an in-depth training of corrective reading. On the online teaching tutors, videos of each type of signal can be found in Chapter 2, Module 5. Just like in a choir, all students must respond when instructed by the teacher. This is a unique feature of direct instruction that facilitates equitable instruction for all students, not just to an enthusiastic few who volunteer each time a question is asked. Responses must be in unison so that the teacher is able to hear an incorrect response better than if the response was scattered or a disjointed one. The teacher must watch out for and discourage drony or sing-song responses from the students. Such a response usually indicates that the students are not confident in their own responses and are waiting to be guided by the more confident students in the class. An incorrect response provides valuable feedback to the teacher. The teacher must correct immediately, even mid-sentence, as soon as there is an incorrect answer. The teacher must direct the student's attention to the specific incorrect word, provide a correct answer, and do so in a positive manner. Even if one student responds incorrectly, the whole group gets a correction. The original Engelmann paradigm for corrections is model, test, lead, and delayed test. The teacher first models the word by telling the class the correct word. The students repeat the correct word. The strategy applied will depend on how difficult the word is, and the delayed test ensures that the incorrect word is not repeated as a mistake again. When conducting a large class to respond in unison, it can be very difficult to ensure that everyone is taking part. Individual turns give teachers the opportunity to check that all students are following along, especially the lower performers or those who may have seemed distracted during class. The teacher asks the question to the whole group, then calls on a student to give the answer. This way, everyone is thinking about the answer, but only one person responds. Individual terms is yet another example using equity in the classroom. The pace or rhythm of each lesson will usually be directed by the pace and ability of the class, not the teacher. Keep the pace brisk so that the students are engaged and attentive during the entirety of the lesson. On the online teaching tutor, an example of a teacher demonstrating a good lesson pace is seen on Section 2, Module 4. Besides the initial placement test, all levels of corrective reading contain in-program mastery tests. Students earn points on each part of the daily lesson, and scores are entered in the student workbook. These are used to measure and document student progress in specific skill areas. With all GI programs, it is vital for staff to get trained not just once, but often. Each DI program is different, so the training will vary accordingly. Training and coaching can be the difference between great results and not so great results. We must bear in mind that with an intervention program like corrective reading, we have very little time to waste with students who are already behind, and that the projected outcomes rely on efficient delivery of the script. Proper training will discourage any bad habits that tend to form in the classroom. For example, a teacher may not have placed enough importance on a group response, or if a teacher habitually fails to correct a mistake as soon as one is heard. Reading through the Corrective Reading Teacher Guide is a must before starting the program. A one-year teacher license provides teaching tutors for both strains of corrective reading. The license is inexpensive and teachers can view the modules in their own time or train as a group. Although the license is very detailed and comprehensive, a face-to-face training is highly recommended before implementing corrective reading. The McGraw Hill Australian website has a list of independent trainers available to work with your schools for a fee. The Nifty website has a calendar of regular trainings and webinars throughout the year. We would encourage you to register with them to get regular updates. Please see the Nifty link at the end of this overview. The pictures you see on your screen are from training sessions at the Nifty Oregon Conference held every year in July. Corrective reading has a solid research base that supports both the DI methodology and the program you hold in your hand when you teach. A link to the Research tab for corrective reading is listed at the end of this overview. Please take the time to go through these. Please use these links for more information on corrective reading, or simply send us an email with a specific request. We'd be more than happy to help. If you wish to learn more about direct instruction and the programs that have stood the test of time, please browse through the Nifty website and the McGraw Hill websites, or ask us about the documents you see on screen. We do not have the luxury of time to slow the pace for students who are significantly behind, when what they really need is high-speed instruction. We need effective programs backed by science, research, and results. Direct instruction programs like corrective reading do exactly that. They are scientifically engineered and taught explicitly to bring every student to mastery in the shortest possible time. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a very successful implementation of corrective reading.